Songchill here with a review of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader is a game made by Alocat Games, where you play as a newly appointed Rogue Trader. As a newly appointed Rogue Trader, you're given from your predecessor a void ship that contains the population of a small city and numerous space colonies that you are responsible for their well-being. However, crisis occurs when the void itself is attacked and you lose contact with many of your colonies, as well as stars begin to disappear from various systems. Set out with your regiment, you set out to reconnect with your long-lost colonies, as well as discover who is behind stealing the stars and bringing them to justice. For gameplay-wise, Warhammer 40k works just like other RPG, where you just point-click, move around. Combat-wise is an XCOM-style combat with a turn-based system. Before the start of every battle, you get to select where you want your units to be placed, either in the front row or in the back. After that, it's a turn-based system using a variety of abilities that are limited to both your movement as well as your ability points. For ship combat, the same turn-based combat as you would see in many other games. However, there is a new mechanic added to this in that they add a movement factor to this, where your void ship has to constantly be in a state of motion. So a new strategy is implemented where you have to consider also your ship's positioning at the end of its turn, as well as how to maneuver to make sure that you are set up for more combat for the next turn. For look-wise, the game itself looks very beautiful, very well done. The graphics are great, as well as the cutscenes are well done. The voice acting itself is good when it's there. There are incidents where there is a large amount of lore and text that is missing voice acting. This game would do better if there was voice acting included in it, as well as a lot of the times when you are talking to your companions on the bridge, the conversations on the bridge are voice acted, but the minute you head to private chambers to discuss more important topics, which usually involve a lot of lore and a lot of dialogue, there is no voice acting to that. And so a lot of times I found having to read through paragraphs of text just to get through conversations, which are usually sometimes 5-10 minutes, which can be made more enjoyable with some voice acting included in it. The quests themselves are all well thought out, and there are some thought-provoking moments and decisions that you make along the way as you go through the story. My personal favorite quest is a quest where you have to stand in line to get the authority for one of your companions, and it turns out to be a very government-esque and diplomatic fiasco as you wait in line for 5 days trying to get something approved, even though you are a rogue trader of high status. Combat itself is very enjoyable. I do like the XCOM format, as it's greater control over all the characters, as well as I find that it's easier to strategize with the grid-like format, as well as plan out movements and strategies to win at all the battles. The battles themselves can be complicated at times, or in other cases it can be simply a bloodbath. Another addition to this is the inventory system. I do like it a lot, as you're able to mark items that you gather around the world as junk/cargo, so that it doesn't go into your actual inventory, it goes into a cargo where you can sell it to merchants right away. This I felt was really good, and I hope they implement it in future games. As annoying as it is, you don't have to pick up 16 rapiers or 16 guns and have to mark them manually as junk. They're auto-marked and put away so you don't have to see them. And the only things kept then are very rare items or exclusive items. As well as I do like, as a rogue trader, there is no actual store for buying items. You are instead have what is called profit factor. Because of your status as a rogue trader, instead of buying items outright, you are just given the ability to just acquire items at your will based on your profit factor. And you can increase your profit factor by doing missions, quests, rumors, as well as selling cargo to various vendors. Each time you sell cargo, you improve your cargo factor, as well as all of the vendors have a reputation system, which unlocks more items that you can buy if you continue to do business with them. And that's how you acquire more rare and exclusive items. The classes themselves are fun and enjoyable to explore and test around with. I did find that the level up system is quite complicated, and it does involve a lot of reading and a lot of research if you don't have the background knowledge. The level up system is definitely not beginner friendly. A number of times where I had to go back or reset a level up because I took skills that I thought would work with a character, but they did not work. As well as some of the characters and classes need a little bit of balancing. I found them to be overpowered in the mid game and then way overpowered in the end game. So for example, the sniper class, my main character was a sniper. She had the ability to mark targets and then headshot targets at the same time. On the first turn, she constantly was able to kill 3 people in 1 attack, and this in turn affected her side ability. Every time she killed someone, she was able to take another shot at another enemy. This resulted in her being able to basically take down 5-6 enemies in one go, which I felt kind of fun and cool, but at the same time was a little bit overpowered, especially when you combine it with the other classes. Another character named Argentina, she was our soldier for this playthrough. She had the ability to burst fire, basically a rapid fire down a row of enemies, and near the end game it came really excessive as she was able to basically kill 5, 6, 10 enemies in one go by just spraying and praying down a corridor, for example. And each time she killed someone, she also got that other side benefit where she makes an extra shot. So a lot of the end game fights, especially with large crowds, were a cinch for both my sniper and my soldier. The other class is the Psycher. I felt was a little bit overpowered because my Psycher, basically, if she killed someone, was able to kill another person next to that enemy. And so a lot of times between the 3 of them, depending on who gets to go first, got to clear the entire group of enemies first. The last class that also needs balancing is the tank. I only had 1 tank in this entire playthrough, and he was capable of soloing enemies by himself. He didn't do much damage, but because of his tank abilities, he was able to stay alive while soloing enemies. There was many times where he was the last person standing, and just because he constantly regenerated temporary health, he would just regenerate his temporary health. He had an ability to parry other enemies' attacks, and so he would just regenerate his own health and then parry their attacks. That would be the turn for 10 turns. Near the end game, I ran into a number of bugs, some of them even game-breaking. Especially, I found one bug where you could easily defeat a bunch of enemies without even starting combat. A lot of the quests, the markers and whatnot, were a little confusing on what to do or what needs to be done. Most notably, what needs a little bit of work is the rumor system, as you constantly acquired rumors, but a lot of them didn't give you a very clear idea of what to do for the quests. I found a lot of times I had to go and Google some of the rumors just to clear them. And then there were a couple rumors where I did clear the rumors, but the rumors still showed up as incomplete. I'm pretty sure it is a bug. One of them, for example, was the rumor was to destroy a pirate fleet. We chased down the pirate fleet, we fought them, we killed them, we destroyed the ship. The rumor still persisted and still constantly showed up on the map saying that it wasn't done. The endgame story itself is a little confusing as well, as a majority of the time you spent pursuing who stole stars and as well as dealing with the politics in the world. And then suddenly at the end, it turns out a said individual is evil and doing stuff. You kind of had a suspicion, but it was never really a priority. But suddenly near the end game, it became a priority to take care of this said individual, which kind of didn't make sense. The way the story was directing it, I was expecting to fight the void or the entities that were the gods basically of this world. But in the end, you kind of steers you away from that and you begin to deal with just another individual. The lore itself is somewhat confusing. As a beginner myself, I'm not familiar with the Warhammer background, and so a lot of times I was kind of lost in what was going on or what individuals were talking about. There is a little encyclopedia that does explain a little bit of it, but once again, I found it wasn't enough or it was too much lore to go over to understand what everyone was talking about or what the situation was. Overall, I give this game 7 out of 10 Steves. If you like XCOM or RPGs, especially games such as Pathfinder Kingmaker or Wrath of the Righteous or Pillars of Eternities, I would recommend buying this game. Comment down below your thoughts on this game, and if you like this, feel free to like, subscribe. My name is Sonic Chilled. I stream RPGs and multiplayer games with friends, and I do these review videos for fun. You can catch me live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube, often playing games that I'm about to review. Till next time.